Hello, I'm Sami. Welcome. This is your tricep amplifier, 20 minutes today that you're going to be moving through. I've got two wonderful friends here, fellow Shaktis with me. Shauna off to my right here wearing colors that basically match our logo on the wall. And she's going to be showing you the simplified modifications for today. I'll be guiding you right at the middle, and then Rachel off to my left in this lovely pink, say hi to her, is going to be amping up for you today with even more complex moves as we go along. So deep breath in, exhale because you're ready. Come on to your feet if you're not there already. Two more breaths. Inhale, anchor into your feet, exhale. One more inhale and exhale. So starting off any of our movement here with Shakti Bar is an intention that we set for ourselves. So think of how you're feeling today and where can you sustain your challenge, sustain your form throughout pretty much the entire 20 minutes when you decide to kind of like stick with something. And see if you can kind of hang on to it for a bit today. Maybe a little bit longer than you think you might be able to, of course, honoring your body when you need to take your breaks. But can you nudge yourself just a little bit more when it comes to your edge? So on your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Bring one arm down to your side. Let's take a side stretch, making almost a banana shape with your body. Your chin can be up and away from your chest, your gaze up, but really anchor into both feet as you stretch out long through your rib cage. Come back through center on your inhale, both arms up and switch sides. Arm down and reach, really lengthen through one side. Find lots of space between your rib cage. Back through center. Bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, palms together, or you can grab opposite elbows. We'll inhale to take a slight back bend. Exhale, leading with your chest towards the tops of your thighs, forward fold. Maybe hands come away from your back body. Inhale, come back up to stand. So reach long through your low back, lengthen through the back of your neck. Even press and squeeze into your feet, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, forward fold. Really opening up along your chest. Back up to stand. We'll do one more full lifting up. Really keep your palms stuck together if you've chosen to interlace your fingers. Exhale, fold forward. Yeah. Release your fingertips down to the ground. Good. Step back with your hands grounded into a plank. Hang out in your plank for a little bit. So we're really paying attention in terms of our shoulder stability, especially with all the tricep work that we're doing today. Lots of attention paid to your shoulder stability. Fingers spread wide. You can be on your knees like Shauna or up off your knees like me and Rachel. Reach back to your heels if your knees are on the floor. Let's all bring our knees down. Modified chaturanga, lowering halfway with your elbows to your sides. Already feeling your triceps. Untuck your toes. Bring it up into your low cobra. Really stretch, but also squeezing into your low back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple pedals through your heels. Stretch into the backs of your legs. Feeling strength in your shoulders, your fingers spread super wide, hips lifting up and back as you really ground. Step your right foot forward inside of your right hand. You can use your hand to get your foot underneath your knee. Drop your back knee and tuck your toes. Low crescent lunge. Starting off maybe with hands at heart, or you can even reach long overhead. Let's twist towards our right side. So whichever thigh leg that's in front, twist. You can open up your arms or keep your hands at center, right in front of your heart. Good. Unwind with your arms overhead. Inhale, hands down to your mat, frame your foot. Tuck your back toes or keep your knee down, step back in a plank again. Inhale, exhale to lower. Untuck, low cobra, or coming up to an upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll switch sides. Same thing on your left side. Left foot steps inside of your left hand. Low crescent lunge, your back knees down, toes untucked, lifting up. Active though through hips and your inner thighs. Take a couple of breaths to really ground into your hips, into your front foot. Inhale to lengthen before you twist towards your front thigh, second side. Feel your shoulder blades wrap into your back, especially of your back arm if you've opened up your arms. Back through center, arms up, inhale. Hands down, step back to plank one more time, we'll flow. Exhale, lower, maybe it's a full chaturanga dandasana here. Untuck, upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths in your downward facing dog. And then we come down onto our knees. Lift your chest up on top of your knees. Rachel and I are gonna grab onto some weights. hinged forward in your hips. Sink your hips back a little bit. Tricep kickbacks, starting off with both arms, reaching back. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. So we've got this hinge going on in our bodies to add to the gravitational challenge. Whether you've got weights in hand like me and Rachel, or Shauna, no weights, still gonna feel this nice strong squeeze in the back of your arm. And if anything, sometimes there's a little less distraction with no weights in your hands to really feel the squeeze along the back of your arms and keeping your elbows particularly in place. And Shauna's breathing along the way. I know Rachel is too, as she goes, and she's added hip dips, sinking back towards her heels. And really, yeah, of course. Different ways to amp things up, right? But as long as we're all keeping our neck long, your chin is away from your chest, back body is working as you reach long from your elbows, through your knuckles, through your fingertips. Squeeze, release. Let's be here about 40 more seconds. Now, as your arms start to get a little tired, maybe your shoulders want to roll in forward towards each other. No, we're keeping hearts open today. Your collarbone wide, your shoulder blades wrapped in, squeezing together. 20 more seconds. Good. Lifting our elbows, just trying to get a little bit past the backside of our body to add to this additional squeeze. Good. Watching your chin, your gaze is in front of your knees, about a foot. 5 seconds, then we're holding. 4, you got 3, 2, both elbows, arms straight. Let's do another wrap in of our shoulder blades together. Palms now put down and up. So you rotate from your forearms. Up, down, up, down. Good. For this one, another 40 seconds. So, triceps, holding isometrically with Rachel and 3 pounds in her hand. It's taking a lot of shoulder strength, but also focusing in on our triceps. Keep our hands lifted if we can, just above the backside of our seat, the backside of our hips, rotating around. And she's focusing on her neck, keeping her chin away from her chest. How you doing, Rachel? Oh, yes. This is our amplifier. We're challenging ourselves, focusing in on mainly one set of muscles. Really drive your attention. We got 10 more seconds, rotating around. I've dropped my weights for this one. Hands into fists like Shauna, around. Good. 2, 1. Place your weights off to the side. Push-ups. Wow. What? Hands underneath your shoulders. I'm going to start off with my knees on the ground. Tricep push-ups with a rock back into a child's pose or downward facing dog. Let your chest lay down. Elbows brush your rib cage as you lower. Big exhale. Press up. Hips sink back. Forward. Set yourself up on an inhale. Lower your chest down. Big exhale. Up. And we sink back. Forward, lower, up, and back. So lots of options in terms of how we want to modify. We can modify in taking a slower pace. Doesn't mean it's going to be any easier. Could be actually harder if you're taking a slower way down through your push-ups and really focusing on the press in your hands like Shauna up into your full tricep push-up, even with knees down. Good. Rachel taking this from high tricep push-up into her downward facing dog. She's keeping her fingertips really wide to give her hands lots of base so that we're not putting tons of pressure into our wrists. That's the first way our wrists are going to want to give out on us, is like putting everything into the heels of our hands with our fingers together and like an awkward, like fish fin hand. Good, let's do 30 more seconds. Taking your time, you can pick up your pace if you'd like. Really getting into a quicker, sharper breath as you come forward and back. Lower, up. Good. Couple more. All right, last one. Now, everyone come forward and on your knees because this one's gonna be pretty hard no matter what. Hands walk pretty far forward in front of your shoulders. Slowly see if you can lower both elbows down and press into your hands to come back up. It's gonna take a big exhale, so breathe with me. Pressing up. Slow lower down. Maybe it's one elbow at a time, squeeze, or you can do both at the same time. For me, I can't while I'm still talking, so you keep going. I'm gonna be over here breathing with these two as you lower down. And come up. Let's try this 15 seconds because this one is a toughie. Making sure your hands are in front of your shoulders so you have the space to bring your elbows down and to press back up. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Tricep push-up pulses. Elbows are bent. We've got our chin away from our chest and we pulse. We pulse. We pulse. Good. 30 seconds in your pulse. We're keeping the heat here the whole time through. You're feeling it. I can see Rachel, but it's such great form through her hips, through her knees, all the way through her heels. Same thing with Shauna. She's keeping her neck strong. She's keeping good attention in her core. She's got the pulse happening in her elbows. We focus on her triceps. That's 5. You got it. 4, 3, 2, back up onto our knees, grabbing onto 1 or 2 weights. I'm gonna grab onto 2 2-pounds. We're adding the hip dip similar to what Rachel did before with an overhead extension. So bring your forearms, your elbows pretty much to parallel. We'll sink our hands to our shoulders and extend overhead. So start here first. Start with the focus on your arms. This is what our tricep amplifier is all about. We're drawing attention right here to the back of our arms. And your extension up, holding strong in your elbow, this big squeeze and release. Big squeeze. If you notice as your hands come down to your shoulders, that your elbows pop out into these wide wing shapes. Bring your elbows in front of your face, a little bit more in front of your ears. And focus on your extension through your elbows. Now let's add a hip dip if you'd like. Hips come down to heels as your hands to your shoulders. And then squeeze up. And then lower down. And squeeze up. So we're getting some quad and glute work in also. Sneaking it in. Yes, it's triceps. But we want to sneak in a little bit less than the rest of our body. Core 2 is working with your arms overhead. Squeeze, lift, and lower back. All right, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Lower and reach. We have a pulse after this. You can either stay back with your hips or lift it in your knee stand. Yes, 5 more seconds. How are you pacing? Remember our sustainable movement, our sustainable challenge that you're sticking with. Just kind of do some checkpoints in with your body. All right, elbows bent, we pulse. Down, down, down. Keeping your elbows at your parallel. Pulse, pulse, pulse. So there's that bit of release down with your hands, but focus on the contraction in the back of your arms to lift that 1 inch. And maybe it's not even an inch. Just up, down, down. You feeling this, Shauna? Sir Lamb, you got your fist. She's over here concentrating. It got really quiet for a bit. We all headed into this going like, ooh, we know this one's gonna be a big challenge. Pulse, pulse, good. So we have 1 more segment after this. So really burn through our triceps with a stretch afterwards. Let's try 15 more seconds. Up, up. 5 more. Yes. And 1. Weight comes down. We come back into reverse tabletop. So knee front, knees bent, hands just behind us, underneath our shoulders with fingertips facing the same direction as your toes. Lift your hips off the floor, full tricep dips. Bend down and press up. Now, hips are probably going to hit the floor as a result of your elbows bending. But if you keep your elbows locked and you're just kind of shifting up and down through your shoulders here and having your hips dip down, well, then we've taken our focus out of our triceps. You can also take this, if you need, Shauna, maybe on your seat and working back with your elbows and a press up and back and press up. It's changing the amount of resistance we're working with, but will still feel challenging if she focuses on her slow lean back of her elbows and a big press into her hands as she comes back up. Good. Nice, a little bit of a bigger spread with your fingertips, Rachel. Yeah, almost trying to grip the floor. Good. Dips, press, dip, press. 40 seconds with this one. Taking this at your own pace, honoring if you need a moment to come onto your hips or just holding strong in terms of your arms. Almost kind of like locked in up here for a moment. You can still isometrically work your triceps as you hold here and continue on with your dips. You're the one who hit play. You hit play on the tricep amplifier. You might not have known exactly what you were in for, but you showed up and you're giving this a try. I give you a huge round of applause for that. See if you can stay with it. Keep your heart lifted and open. Now, let's add some leg raises up. So after you bend, maybe one leg comes up. Lower, dip down. And then leg raise. Dip down with your leg raise. Yep, good. Keep it going. Let's take this for a minute. You're like, oh my God, this minute is gonna feel like forever after we've already been doing all of these dips. Maybe you've slowed your pace down a little bit so you can keep with your sustainable movement. Still going, but maybe not as quickly as before, and that's great. We have 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. Leg raise is nice. We'll come down to our hips afterwards and kind of taper off, still with these dips back in our elbows, similar to what Shauna's doing. But I'm gonna encourage you, everyone here, to do so. 10 seconds. You're doing so good. If you're still with us, you're doing great. Last 5 seconds. Chin stays a little bit away from your chest. Yes, yes. Woo. And bring your hips down. Have your feet in front. Let's all take elbow dips back as deep as we can go. And if you can get your elbows all the way down to the ground, maybe you shift your hands a little bit further in front of your shoulders. And you press up, squeeze, and lower back. Press up, squeeze. Good, and lower back. So Rachel, bring your hands just a little bit further forward. You might be able to get you back without feeling quite such a pop down to the ground. But core is gonna come and play here too. It's no joke. Let's do 30 seconds and we'll finish off with some stretches. So see if you can add your extra squeeze when you come up in your elbows as you lift. Big exhale when you come up. You can even exhale as you come back. And up. Finger spread super wide. You're right there. 3, 2, 1. Come up into a shin crossed seat or on a block or a pillow. You can even sit with your shins underneath and your feet back. Start off with a cross stretch in front of your body. Arm in front, palm faces back behind you. And see if you can add some resistance. If you have your hand further along your forearm, add some resistance of trying to press your arm into your hand as you also lengthen more into your stretch. See if you can let your shoulders relax a bit down your back. Maybe your neck is feeling a bit crunchy. So good. A few more seconds, then we'll switch sides. And release. Maybe a quick roll in your shoulders. Before you switch, start off, extend. Bring your hand, add resistance into your hand using your straight arm. Bring your shoulders down your back. Reach long, either through your knuckles, fingertips. Try to have your wrist strong here also. 15 more seconds. Maybe at some point, if you feel called to close your eyes while you're stretching here, you can close your eyes. Release your arm, grab opposite elbows, bring your forearms to stack onto the top of your head. Do a slight lift in your chest. And in 10 more seconds, you'll just release your arms into your lap. So let's take one more breath in. Let's release our arms, hands down, onto the tops of our thighs. A seated meditation, seated pause to feel the benefits of all the movement that you just did will last just under 20 minutes. Whatever cycles of breath in and out through your nose, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Long breaths, deeper breaths. What helps you ground while still keeping your attention on your body. Maybe noticing your heart rate as things even out. And flutter your eyes open if your eyes have closed. And you've made it. Such a great job. Thank you so much. Thanking my friends here, Shauna and Rachel, for a great job. I hope to see you again soon. You can search my name in the menu bar, Sami, for any other classes in the app. Have a great day.